Hello there. Today's topic is how to create intimacy in your relationship, even when you have no time due to crazy work schedules. And just give me one moment while I make sure that I share this in my group. Okay, here we go. Almost shared. It's coming. It's going. It's working. Okay, here we go. So today's topic is basically it was inspired by someone I had a conversation with yesterday, and this person was sharing about how the biggest problem in her relationship is lack of time due to work schedules, lack of romance, and lack of physical pleasure. And these things go together quite often. So I wanted to address it for everyone because I know so many of us struggle with that. So, when you and your partner are both so busy with work that you don't have any time to connect and physical intimacy gets stuck on the back burner. This is something that comes up often in relationships, and it's something that we all don't have to, but could stand to benefit greatly from learning how to deal with. It's a skill set. So I'm Shauna White, Heartfelt Intimacy Coach for people who want to show up fully for love in their relationships and to cultivate heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally. So here's where I feel like I should tell you a little bit about my background too, but essentially, I'll just tell you this briefly. So I have had decades in my history of feeling awkward and stuck in my head. And through a combination of what I learned from working with horses and from 30 years of deep practical, apply it to my life study of spiritual psychology, I had a number of breakthroughs that allowed me to arrive at a place where I now approach relationship from a place of deep inner connection with my inner alignment with divine love. So I call this my sacred heart. For so many years, I felt like I had my sacred heart in meditation time, and then I had romantic time, and I couldn't put the two together. And whenever I was in the company of someone that I was romantically involved with, I felt in my head and so awkward and like I was stuck inside this glass cage that I couldn't get out of. And I just wanted to feel the energy of intimacy. And I felt like it was just around the corner, but I could never get around that corner until I found how to bring my sacred heart and my romantic life together and to actually show up for my romantic life by listening to my sacred heart so that I could have them both in me at the same time. And it all came to be integrated in a place of feeling. And it's this same place of feeling that is what you need to access in order to to go deep in an instant when you don't have time to connect much. When you don't have a lot of time for connection with your partner, then you need to go deep in a short amount of time so that you can still get to that rich, soul nurturing intimacy, which is why you're in the relationship with your partner in the first place. So let's talk about going deep in an instant. Now, the situation, the setting, right, is that both of you are working a lot. So the first thing that we need a few conditions in place for this intimacy to be able to come through in such a short amount of time. The first thing we need in place is physical energy. If you're working a lot, you might be tired or your partner might be tired. So the first thing that you've got to pay some attention to is your self-care, to make sure that you are at least, if you might be physically tired, but if you're not emotionally stressed, like find a way. So I recently was really stressed because I had so many things going on. I still have so many things going on, but I had them all in my mind at the same time. So I was like, oh my God, I have like 10 things I have to get done. And you can't do more than one thing at a time, really. I mean, I think multitasking is a myth, or it's a scourge, because to do multiple things at the same time just feels so frazzling. So if you feel frazzled, then you're not going to be available to connect deeply with your partner. Especially, frazzling doesn't go with that. So it's okay to be physically tired as long as you are mentally and emotionally not frazzled. You can still show up for intimacy when you're physically tired, as long as it's not stressing you out. So what I did to shift from a place of overwhelm with too many things going on in my mind all at once, I still have a lot of things going on, but now I am only focusing on one thing at a time and nothing else exists while I'm doing that one thing. So, and that's important, because that's how you're going to find not only is that going to reduce your stress so that you're not frazzled, so that you actually have a bit more peace, mental, emotional peace, so that you can create a space with your partner and energetically show up for it. But at the same time, that practice of only one thing at a time is how you're going to open up a little portal to be with your partner. Because when you're with your partner, you're going to do only that for the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes that you have with them. Only that, and not thinking about everything else. So that's the quality of self-care, to care for your energy. So the next thing, which is related to this, is quality of focus. So when we're working, I don't know about you, okay, but when I'm working, I'm not cozy. Unless I'm working specifically in session with someone that I'm coaching in relationship coaching, in that case, I'm focused entirely on the person that I'm working with. And I'm very much in a feelingful space with that person, so that I can follow their energy as well as their words to facilitate their transformation. So there's that part, because I'm a relationship coach. I want you to know that. When I'm working, I'm very feelingfully connected when I'm in session. But when I'm working on the computer or anything like that, I'm focused on what I'm doing. And it's not a space where I'm taking in someone else's energy. But intimacy is a space, connecting with our partner is a space of taking in someone else's energy. I just had, I think it was Sunday, my sister called because I share a house with my 95-year-old dad. I lost my mom just before I turned 4. And so me and my sister both have had just a dad for much of our life. And so my sister called my dad on Mother's Day to wish him a happy Mother's Day, because he was both our mother and father when we were younger. And so I put her on the phone with him, and then I was doing my own thing. And I just, when they were done talking, I got back on the phone for a few minutes, and my tone sounded different. And my sister was like, "Is everything okay? Are we okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, what you're hearing is go mode. When I put you on the phone with our dad, I just started doing other things that I wanted to do around the house. And so when I got back on the phone with her, I wasn't in this space of listening to feel her and having the quality of focus that creates intimacy. I was in go mode. And so when she asked me if everything was okay, I said, yeah, you're hearing go mode. And I'm sorry, because I try not to inflict that on anybody. But anyway, that's how it happened. So it's the same thing for anybody, as far as I know. When you're focusing your attention to get things done, you're in a version of go mode, whatever your version of go mode is. And that is a completely different mode than the quality of awareness and focus that that allows you to fully connect with another person. So when you have crazy busy work schedules, what happens is you're in go mode all the time, and you're focused on this type of the way you're relating to yourself is in a certain sort of driven way. And so if you want to connect with your partner, you've got to think, like, do some thinking about how to shift out of go mode. And that might require something for you. You might need to go for a little walk to shift from go mode to soft feeling full mode. Or with practice, you might be able to shift quickly, or you might need to plan a time to be with your partner so that you can prepare your focus for that time, so that you're in go mode, go mode, go mode. And then at 6:30, you start to shift, because at 7 o'clock, you're going to spend time with your sweetheart for who knows how much time you have. Maybe you have, even if it's just a half hour, or maybe it's longer. But sometimes planning allows you to be able to change the quality of your focus out of go mode. The next bullet point is warmth. So here's the other thing: when you're working a lot, that's typically a very dry energy, and intimacy is a very juicy energy and very warm energy. So it can take a lot of, when you go from dry to warming up, it can take a lot of warming up with your partner. You don't know where your partner's at and all that. So one of the ways that you can fertilize the soil for intimacy is by sharing appreciation, connecting to what you appreciate about your partner all throughout the week, during work also, and sharing what you appreciate, sharing what you're grateful for, what you admire, and what you appreciate about your partner in text messages or whatever works for you. But when you can trade appreciation with each other in and around all the other things that you're juggling and doing, it helps to warm the soil, so that when you have the opportunity to create a space between each other, you already have some juicy warmth flowing between you. So a couple of things that could get in the way of this. Number one is, if you have grievances with your partner, if you have places where you go where you're like, well, I don't like the way he does this, I don't like the way he does that, or, oh God, he did that again, whatever, whatever it is that bothers you. If you have any of that kind of energy going on, it's going to completely dry up any kind of warmth that you might have. Yeah. And even when you have a moment to really shift focus and be into intimate connection, any one of those grievance thoughts could come up and completely wreck the mood and just like destroy what you've allocated for connection time. So you really need to clean up the grievances. Yeah. And then the other thing that could get in the way is if you don't really know how to shift out of the superficial mindset into deep feeling with your partner. Well, even not even with your partner, in yourself. It's just in yourself. If you can't get yourself out of go mode or out of the superficial talking about the day, and get yourself into a place where you can really feel energy and start to feel your partner energetically as well as yourself, then that's going to create like an oil on water effect, where can't go deep in an instant, because your ability to navigate your own mind has to be developed. So that is what took me 20 years to find in my own life, as I was trying to solve this question of how to experience the bigness and the beautifulness of love that I believed in my heart, how to actually manifest that experience in intimate partnership. I had to learn this skill of how to get out of all of those superficial layers of whatever self-experience and go deep inside. And because I learned how to do that, I can go deep in an instant, and I can invite my partner to join me there. So the other thing about this is that you don't need to have a huddle with your partner. Maybe you do need to coordinate schedules and stuff like that, but you don't need to have, you don't need to show your partner this video and say, hey, can you do this? Let's do this together, right? You don't have to do that. If you can go deep inside yourself, get out of the mind noise and into this deep place inside yourself, you can invite your partner to join you there. And he will. They will. I don't know. Depends on who's listening. But you know, as long as they don't have grievances in the way, they will gladly accept your invitation into the sanctuary of this safe, beautiful place of feeling connected. So I hope that helps. If you want help getting into that deep place inside yourself, you want to have a conversation about what that looks like for you, where your starting point is, what your struggles are, and what your next steps would be in order to find that deeper place inside yourself, then please reach out to me. Send me a private message on Facebook. It's the best place to reach me. And otherwise, have a great day. Oh, you know what I could do? I could say this to you. You could put, if you want that kind of, if you want help, if you want to explore how to connect more deeply inside yourself with me, spend some time talking about what that would look like for you, where your challenges are, then put #DivineLove in the comments. And then I'll reach out to you. So you don't have to find me. I'll find you. So #DivineLove in the comments, and I'll come find you. All right. Have a great day. Bye.